Hi, Gabby.
Hi, Tonya.
Hi. As you know, the IGDS is now 20 years old, and I wanted to begin by asking you to do a bit of reflection on your 20-year-old self, and if at this juncture, what advice would you give to yourself as a 20-year-old?
When I was 20 years old, I was already involved in a lot of activism. I was just finished my degree at University of Toronto. I had been involved in Toronto in, environmental groups, immigrant women's groups, South Asian groups, lesbian, bisexual, gay, transgender movements, and, Caribbean movements. And so I would encourage any 20-year-old to get involved in as wide a variety of activist groups as possible, because that's where, even if there are issues that you develop a clear passion for, that's where you get a real sense of what the youth movement is involved in across a wide range of issues. And then when I came back to Trinidad after graduating, I used to go to discussions on constitutional reform forum. Myself and Mickey Grant had our own vote campaign in 2000 for Voice of the Electorate, and we were just very creative. I got involved in RAPSO, and with that, the 10 Sisters Poetry Movement. And so I think any advice for any 20-year-old who wants to really just find their own passions and their own capabilities, and to really bring as much experience as possible, regardless of how young they are, is to just get out there and get involved. And it seems like you're going to be in meetings when other people are liming, but really those are really rich sites for learning. The other thing I would advise any 20-year-old is to enjoy your life. Because when you start to work, particularly for the feminist movement, you realize that the issues are overwhelming, and they're stressful, and they are daily, and they are global, and you begin to feel like you can't stop being involved. And so there's a phase when you're just kind of participating and learning, but you haven't yet come into a phase of personal responsibility that you really need to enjoy. Because when you begin to get responsibility, and with that power and experience, it becomes beholden on you to really dedicate your life to the issues that you see as most important. And when I was 20, I basically wanted to do exactly what I'm doing now. There isn't another department I would work for. I certainly wouldn't work for an androcentric department. I work for a feminist department. I work in the Caribbean. And I don't think there's any single other thing I wanted to do when I was 20. But I'm glad that I took the time to enjoy learning in all its forms, from regular life to NGOs to just the personal creative space, because the movement will take your energy, as at some level it should rightly do, 20 years later. And that's part of recognizing the sacrifice that you will eventually have to commit to giving.